Today we'll be making vanilla cupcakes. I remember baking biscuits and cupcakes for my friends in high school, and really they were the guinea pigs. So for my recipes and my concoctions in the kitchen. And today that love for baking has really grown and flourished into something I never thought that it would. When I'm in the kitchen, I feel at home. I have so much joy, and it feels so fulfilling to make something and then see the end result and have people enjoy it. So today we'll be making vanilla cupcakes, and we all need to have that in our arsenal, because who doesn't love a vanilla cupcake, a vanilla sponge? The thing that sets this recipe apart is that it actually has sour cream in the batter for the sponge, so it makes it delicious.
So the first thing we're going to do is line our cupcake pan, and then spoon 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour and level it out with a knife. And I actually measured 165 grams of flour before transferring it into these cups and leveling it out, just to make doubly sure. And I don't know if you saw in the previous frame, but I actually used silicone cupcake holders because less paper wastage, and also because I didn't have any cupcake holders on hand. Okay, so after we deposit this flour into our sieve, we are going to sift it. Thereafter, we're going to sift half a teaspoon of baking powder and a half a teaspoon of salt into the flour mixture, and we're going to set that aside. In a separate bowl, we're going to use half a cup of unsalted softened butter. So soften the butter beforehand, and then also 1 cup of castor sugar until it's light and fluffy. We are going to beat these two ingredients together. So right now I'm just like scooping it down from the sides to make sure I'm getting everything in there. And then we are going to beat in 2 large eggs, but 1 at a time. Okay, so I like using free-range eggs from Woolworths because they give you like a whole description about the eggs and where it comes from, and that they don't have any antibiotics. They don't feed the chickens any antibiotics or anything like that, so that's always good to know. Right, thereafter we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla paste. You can use less if you'd like, but I like to use a little bit extra because to give it that bang of vanilla-y taste. And then add a half a cup of full fat sour cream, and we're going to beat it until it's well combined. I also measured my sour cream on a kitchen scale, and that amounts to 120 grams. So there's alternatives. If you don't have a kitchen scale, you can always use a cup. Once again, just scooping it down from the sides to make sure everything is in there. I don't know, but it irks me when things like splash on the sides like that. I just want it to be down in the middle. So now remember the sifted ingredients from before that we set aside. We're going to slowly add these dry ingredients, the flour, the salt and the baking powder, to our wet ingredients. Okay, now we're gonna mix well, but we need to ensure that we do not over mix the batter. So once everything looks like it's well combined and everything's all in there and it looks all smooth and creamy, we are going to switch our handheld mixer off. Oh, of course people, we can use a manual whisk. Okay, now we're spooning the batter into the molds, and we are going to make sure that we fill the cupcake holders just a little bit over halfway. They rise up quite a little bit because of the baking powder that we added, so don't fret. I don't know how you like to fill your cupcake holders. Well, it also depends on the consistency, but I like to use 2 spoons. I think that's like the general way to do it. But initially, I'm not sure exactly how I used to get them into the molds. I think I had a very weird, I think I just tried pouring it in, even if it would be this kind of consistency, which was not easy. But you live and learn. So we're baking this at 177 degrees Celsius for about 18 to 22 minutes. Right, now we're beating 1 cup, which is 230 grams of softened butter, until smooth, and of course this is for our icing or frosting, whatever you want to call it. So we're beating the butter until it's smooth. And then we're adding our 3 cups of icing sugar, which is equivalent to 360 grams, and then we're mixing it on low. Before you add the icing sugar to the butter, we sift it. So we don't just add it, we sift it in. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I'm using my manual normal sift because the other sift, it doesn't really work well with the thicker kind of consistency of icing sugar. So I'm just using the good old handy manual sift. No gadgets. Okay, so to that we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla paste and 2 tablespoons of heavy cream, and we're going to mix it on medium for a few minutes until it's smooth. I use heavy cream to make it super creamy, which I also got from Woolworths. It just gives it a really nice consistency. I'm not really an icing lover, but I'm very much, I enjoy this icing very much on this cupcake. Let me know down below if you like adding a ton of icing to the top of your cupcake, or if you just like to smooth over just a dollop. Not too much. I'm not really a big sweet tooth, but sometimes I splurge when I eat these little babies. Just tasting it for good measure. Right, so now that our cupcakes are cooled, we are going to transfer our icing into a piping bag. You can get this anywhere really. I'm making kind of a rose pattern, I suppose, on the top of the cupcake. I find that when I made these, I was just making it for my husband and myself. So I found it kind of a waste to decorate it so beautifully, I suppose, if it was just the two of us who was going to see it. Like, it's not for a party or anything. But it's always fun to ice, you know, because the more you do it, the better you get at it. And there you go, rose patterned cupcakes.
Delicious. Okay, so we've come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, won't you please hit the like button? If you'd like to see more of this type of content, you can hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. Oh, and if you're gonna try this recipe, let me know in the comments below. Okay, that's it for now, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.